Alright people, so I'm here to talk about how America is basically letting in all these illegal immigrants um, to our country. Um, like I've done in my past videos, my last political video on the war in Iraq, or the possible war in Iraq, I pull up a bunch of mainstream news articles talking about how America funds terrorist groups like Al Qaeda. Now I got some articles here on how America is just letting in aliens, illegal aliens, immigrants, whatever, and then, housing them, whatever. So the first article I have here is from Fox News. Border Patrol to fly hundreds. The last time I showed you the article, it's legit, guys. Look them up if you don't believe me. All right. But Border Patrol to fly hundreds of illegal immigrants from Texas to California. And yeah, so why are we paying us? What do you think the government gets the money? You think it just pulls it out of its ass? No, it gets the money from us. It gets money from taxpayers. So it's gonna fly hundreds of illegal immigrants from Texas to California. Why? Why do they need to go there? I don't fucking get it. So then the next article here, also from Fox News, takes a while to load sometimes, but yeah, I keep all these tabs on my iPad, and then takes a while to load. I'll click the tab and that just will reload, but whatever. Here it is. I got it. White House criticized for hosting young illegal immigrants amid crisis oversurge. So there you go. I mean, you can see, this one I will show you too, because you could see the video and they got like hundreds of people there, So there's tons of fucking immigrants coming across the fucking border, and we're just housing them, whatever. Once illegals hear that, oh, America is just letting immigrants go right across the fucking border, well then more are gonna go across, So, I was looking up articles too, even from these articles were from last year talking about how legal immigration has doubled. Now it's at like record numbers. I read about that, while looking up articles to, talk about on my video. So I mean, tons of illegals, they're just flooding over now, from the borders. This one I got from Infowars.com. And in the past I've seen people, oh, Infowars is incredible, whatever. But you could actually watch the interview for yourself. It's right fucking there. It's titled Homeland Security confirms they're paying to ship and release illegals in the interior. And they got the McAllen Emergency Manager Coordinator Kevin Pagan. I watched the whole interview talking about basically how they take in the illegals. Charities or churches will house them, and then they're given a slip or like a voucher where they could get like bus tickets to go where they want, and they're also given like a court order to appear in court, which could be like months in the future to determine whether they're an illegal alien or not. I mean, that is so ridiculous, and they're even admitting that. The guy fucking admitted it. Watch the fucking video, it's only 8 minutes long. I know you guys are too busy obsessing over Justin Bieber or Miley Cyrus, but Michelle Obama's kid getting, or the Obama's kid getting a fucking driver's license. I thought that was like one of the top trends on Yahoo one day, but yeah, you guys could take 8 minutes out of your day to fucking watch a fucking video. Next video here, this was a big one too, from Yahoo, or actually the AP. It's actually, I think Yahoo linked to it, but AP, U.S. releases immigrant families, and they won't say how many in the first paragraph. I'll read it. The Obama administration has released into the U.S. an untold number of immigrant families caught traveling illegally from Central America in recent months. And although the government knows how many it's released, it won't say publicly. I mean, there you go, right in plain sight, on one of the top, mainstream news websites, AP, Associated Press. They're admitting that the U.S. government is letting in illegal aliens. So here you go. It's right in plain sight, people. This one from BuffaloNews.com. You know, I never really heard of this, but you know, might as well. Yeah, it's not mainstream, maybe, but you know, I figured might as well, you know, talk about it. And this one says officials seeking shelter for young illegal immigrants thought island hotel was vacant. So basically, you know, again, this is just basically an extension of the past articles I've been talking about here. They're just shipping in illegals, and then like the churches, or they'll find some place to house them. So I mean, it's stupid. It's like you got all these illegals and they're housing them for free. You know, they don't even have to fucking pay. It's just so stupid. And then, you know, more leaked photos here. You know, this was from Breitbart, which I haven't really heard of, but you know, leaked photos with all the immigrants just over flooding into the United States. And InfoWars is also, that's enough for, that's it for the articles, but InfoWars is also covered, you know, the Border Patrol and, you know, the border war, whatever. It's not, I was about to say border wars, it's not even a fucking war, they're just letting them all in. But they covered it, they went down to the border, and they showed, you know, basically the Border Patrol not even doing anything really. You know, they exposed the border fraud. You know, it's wide open, people could just come right in. You know, they showed like a bunch of border trucks just sitting in a parking lot. They talked, you know, and they really did a good job, you know, talking to people about this and exposing the truth. So yeah, I mean, the border, the illegals are just flooding right in to the fucking country, giving housing, shelter, food, whatever they need. They're giving bus tickets to go wherever they want. They're being flown to California from Texas. Well, there's tons of fucking poor people that are actually U.S. citizens who are ignored. Yeah, so that's great. You know, illegals, criminals are being treated better than poor people. Yeah, that's great. Poor people, a lot of whom are victims of, you know, government corruption, you know, government being corrupted by corporations and corporate interests, government stealing our money. Yeah, but yeah, just let the illegals flood through. And, you know, the illegals are being let through, you know, so that, and then the illegals are taught, oh, you know, to be pro-gun control or pro, you know, anti-second, you know, like all the things that these corrupted government officials want, so that the corrupt government officials will get what they want, you know. So like when the illegals come in, the people who let them in will tell them what to believe in. So, you know, there you go. You know, that's the fucking system we got. You know, people who are for open borders, you know, I respect them a lot more than I respect, you know, these like corrupted officials who are just letting the fucking aliens in. Like Jesse Ventura, I see, you know, I'm a pretty big fan of him and I agree with a lot of what he says, but I disagree. He says, oh, I believe in open borders, and how this says this world should be, you know, people should be allowed to travel where they want. I don't believe in that, but at least he believes in open borders for like because he thinks people should be able to go wherever they want. He doesn't believe in papers or whatever. As opposed to these government officials who believe in open borders because it's good for their political careers, and they could use it to further their political agendas. So yeah, I mean, these politicians are just corrupt and they need to be exposed for the traitors they are, letting in illegals, you know. It's just so frustrating that like illegals are valued more, criminals are valued more than poor people who have done nothing wrong. So it's very frustrating when you get some shit like this happening. And I'm for locking down our borders, building fences, around their borders so illegals can't, as Zeb Coulter says, for the wrestling fans, sneak across our borders. And that's what Zeb Coulter says. And that Zeb Coulter character, although I didn't realize it at the time, it was being used to demonize people who are for locking down our borders, because he was this bad guy and shit. But yeah, I want to lock down our borders because I don't want, if we open up our borders, then tons of fucking people are gonna come here. Tons of fucking, we're just gonna get over flooded with illegals like we already are, but it's gonna be worse. There are border patrol, that are still, keeping us somewhat locked down, but there's not enough. They're not properly funded. There's not enough of the border patrol. But if we open our borders, then there'll be very harsh diseases. There already is. I was actually on another article when I was looking up the articles for this video, on how a person was talking about how when they go to the border, they ask them if they're feeling okay, and then they just let them through. That's their health check. They ask them, hey, are you feeling okay? Then they just let them through. And if they say no, then they're checked. And I don't even think they said it was a doctor, like a good doctor doesn't even check them. They just, if some guy assumes, that there's nothing very bad wrong with them, then they just let them through. So, that's just, bad diseases are going to come through the borders. It's just going to be tons of fucking people coming across, and it's just going to be flooded with, a ton of fucking people. And we don't need that. We don't need harmful diseases, whatever, coming across the borders. And also, I live fucking 25 minutes away from Canada. It's right over there. I could just fucking, I actually went there like a month ago, and I got my passport. I'm all ready to go through. I actually got my mom's passport, but I still got through. Now I got through going to Canada, fine, alright. But then coming back, I'm like, I actually was looking at my passport like a few minutes before I got to the border. I'm like, oh shit, it's my mom's. So, I was right there at the border, and I, gave the lady the passport, and she's like, hey, can I see your ID? She got my ID, and then she's like, okay, you're fine. So, I didn't even have the right fucking passport, and I got through. And also, if I wanted to, the Detroit River, it's 2 miles about, I think, a mile or 2 wide, and on one side it's Detroit, one side it's Canada, or Windsor, Ontario. If somebody wanted to, they could easily swim across, or from Canada, Lake St. Clair's in Michigan, right over there, like a mile and a half away. One side's Michigan, one side's Canada. They could easily fucking just take a little boat across, I bet, because there's probably no border patrol. I never see any border patrol or Coast Guard in the fucking, maybe it's in the middle of Lake St. Clair, because it's a big fucking lake, but I never see any border patrol, when I'm driving. I go quite a bit too, up Lake St. Clair, the road on there. It's right along Lake St. Clair. It's right along, you could see across to Canada. You could actually see, Canada a little bit. I never see any border patrol on there, nothing. So, what I propose is, just build a fucking fence around America. Lock down the borders. I like how Donald Trump, I don't even know too much. I heard he's like, oh, I will build a fence around America. I agree. Let's do that. It might cost some money, but it will profit tons in the future, because now we are paying for all these fucking illegals. Let's build the fence. And yeah, there'll still be people, maybe digging tunnels or whatever, but that will cut illegal immigration by a lot. So let's build fences, let's cut illegals, and let's stop funding illegal aliens. So there you go, people. I'm foreclosing the borders and locking them down. So there you go.